Looking for Broadhead, he's found a goal! Yes! There it is! Shot's not in yet though. It's for Stewart! Sunderland took over to Marcus Wind last night. Now they're taking over football's most famous landmark.
Hello and welcome back to the What the Falk Fixture release show and our first championship podcast of the 22-23 season. Doesn't that sound nice? You're joining us at 8:45-ish or 8:50-ish on fixture release day. So by the time you listen to this, you're going to know our entire set of fixtures, but we have decided to get together to do a sort of live reaction if you prefer. Obviously, it's not live to you, so that doesn't really make much sense, but hopefully you get my drift. Joining me on today's show is our regular guest, as always, first and foremost, Brad Sharpe. Brad, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Knackered. Didn't finish work till about 1, didn't get sleep till 4. But still up and ready to go with you guys.
Exciting today, isn't it? A little bit in a really weird way.
Yeah, it's nice to know that when these fixtures come out, we're not going to see the names of Gillingham, Wickham, Accrington, Stanley. Like, yes.
I'm quite sad we've left Fleet. No, I'm not. And of course, second of all, regular voice, which you'll be used to now into his second season. Believe it or not, we're into our third season now. Don't know why I keep doing it, but I do. Dave, how are you? You all right?
Yeah, very well, thanks, mate. Sun's out, looking forward to some fixtures being announced, and nearly time for the new season. Let's get it on.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I still keep watching the last goal back from last season, but that's by the by. Also, just to let people know, we've added a few more people to the show for this season, and they'll be coming with us throughout the season alongside Dave and Brad. They aren't with us today, but we do look forward to obviously showcasing a few new voices over the coming weeks and months. Hopefully they've got better voices and pronunciations than myself. As I said though, fixture release day, Brad, always an exciting day, and especially when you've been promoted. But before we react to those fixtures, which will be out in approximately 9 minutes, there has been a lot of business which we're going to try and fit in within the next 9 minutes, which I don't think is going to be possible. But Kirill's upped his percentage of shares to 51%. Charles has gone by the wayside. Donald remains a little bit in the picture, but with a lesser share. Juan Sartori's upped his. On the ownership front, there's a lot of change. It's hard to sum everything up that we really think about it, Brad, but how are you feeling about yesterday's news?
Yeah, it was good to wake up to. Seemed like it just came out of nowhere, didn't it? Because at one point, everyone's talking about the fans together group. We don't know what's going to happen. Or you've got Big Bill's story spouting shite every 10 minutes on Twitter. So yeah, it was nice. Kills now he's from everyone was a bit dubious when he was just a majority stakeholder, but now he's a majority shareholder. Literally everything goes through him, which is good. Salmon Pants is gone. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. I know Stuart Donald's still there, but for me, he's the lesser of two evils. If one of them were going to stay, it would have to be Stuart Donald. So yeah, it's really good news. And then the news that came later in the day, which I'm sure we'll come on to once you've got Dave's reaction, just seemed like it's going to be like a steady flow now, one thing after another. So hopefully we get some more news today.
I find it interesting, though, not to kind of labour on the negatives too much, because I think ultimately, as you said, Salmon Pants is gone. I think it's no surprise to anyone that I wasn't his biggest fan, and I think there's a lot of evidence of that. I think I was vindicated in a lot of the reasons why I dislike him, and I think a lot of other people will feel the same way about their feelings on him, but he's gone, so it doesn't really matter. Stuart stays, but I find it interesting that Stuart has stayed when, and I quote here, I'm not misquoting him, hopefully, I'll go when the fans don't want us. I think ultimately, it's really positive. Like it is positive. We wanted Kirill to buy those stakes. I didn't want anything to do with like crypto creepos. I didn't want anything to do with that. I've never wanted anything to do with the other bloke. And I just really wanted Kirill to buy them. I'm a bit nervous about Juan Sartori's involvement, because I think ultimately he's contributed to a lot of what we criticised Donald and Methven for, and got away with it a little bit more. But ultimately, I want this to be positive today, and Kirill having 51% means he's got a say, and I think that is a huge positive, alongside the fact that someone who obviously doesn't have the best interests and holds the fans in contempt has gone completely, and the other one's got a lot of his shares diluted. But Dave, I assume you're kind of feeling the same way as me and Brad. What's your thoughts on yesterday's news on the ownership?
Yeah, exactly. Just, trying to, well, not trying actually, just being positive. New era, new season, new league, new division. The ownership's sorted to an extent, with a more positive reaction than, let's be honest, fan groups and stuff like that. And yeah, so we're out of it. I think Brad hit the nail on the head for me. Now let's just hope we're getting contracts sorted out with people. Let's hope a couple of signings are on the way, exciting signings. Have heard little murmurs here and there of the names that we've all heard, and it fits in with that narrative that I've always wanted Sunderland to do since we've been in League One. Kind of players who are early mid-20s, who are going to have the potential to grow together. If rumours are to be believed, with the likes of Sanderson, with the likes of Broadhead, with people like that, Everson in goal. Listen, that's the nucleus of good, solid players who can grow together for a couple of seasons and hopefully get us to where we eventually want to be. So yeah, excited.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got like 5 minutes before the fixtures come out, so we will touch on Gooch. You mentioned those players there. I think the good thing is, I really want Bailey Wright to stay. I really, really want Patrick Roberts to stay, because I both think they can do a good job in the Championship. I both think they are, at the very least, lower-end Championship players on the current form. Touched on Everson before. I think it will be harsh on Patterson, but at the same time, we do need a keeper either way. So why not get someone who can at least compete with Patterson, or someone that Patterson can compete with? And this Everson's highly rated. Sanderson, we all know his quality. I'd love to see him in a red and white shirt again on a permanent basis. And I'd like to think the fact that he didn't get much of a look in the QPR means that Wolves probably don't think he can make it up to the Premier League. If that's the case, we're more than welcome to have him. I think he's a really classy defender. I've heard, I could be wrong with this. I don't know. It's literally just something I've heard. Dan Ballard apparently has had we've been looking at Dan Ballard from Arsenal, but I'm sure we won't be the only club looking at him. And I don't know how far true it is. I'm definitely not in the know. And obviously you're touching a few more players there. I think a lot of them make a lot of sense. But before we go into it, one of those ones that we tied down was Lynden Gooch yesterday. I think ultimately it's had a positive reaction, which shows you the form he's shown since probably January. I'll stick with you on this, Dave. But before we kind of live react to these fixtures, Lynden Gooch signing is a positive, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I must admit, I've never been his biggest fan. I suppose from an attacking sense, I find him very, very frustrating. Alex Neil found the right wing back and kind of a more defensive side of his game. Let's be honest, he's tenacious. He's flexible. He's played in the 10. He's played wide right. He's played right back. In that respect, it's from our year, it's a Darren Williams type player, isn't it? It's someone who can play here, there, and everywhere, and he's never going to let you down. He's not going to set the world alight, I don't think. I think we're well past that with Lynden. But again, everyone seems to love the fact that certain people love this football club. Lynden Gooch definitely loves this football club, and he's a steady player. I think a squad player. I think he'll do all right. He's never going to get my heart racing, but I'm certainly not disappointed that he's staying, that's for sure.
I think for me, the Gooch one, it's a case of, do I think Sunderland could get a better free transfer than someone who knows the club inside out, can play multiple different positions, has shown before he's probably capable of playing in the Championship at a good level. And like I said before, he does love the club, so he knows he's going to leave it all on the pitch. And then on the flip side, is Lynden Gooch going to get a better club than Sunderland? I think it makes a lot of sense in that way. I agree with you. I think he's a really good squad player. I personally think we need that probably next season. I think tying down Lynden Gooch means that we haven't got the desperation to fill in about 4 different positions, because we know at the very least he can fill it in. But we're 1 minute and 35 seconds away from the fixture release day, Brad. Really quickly, if you were to have only one person signing a contract out of Bailey Wright and Paddy Roberts, who would you give the contract to?
Wow.
I know it's tough.
For me, as much as I think he's a great player, but for me, it would be Bailey Wright. I think he's got a lot more championship experience. I know Patrick Roberts has been bitty, hasn't he, through his career, playing and not playing. And that's a horrible question, by the way. But it would be Bailey Wright for me. I just think his leadership, his steady head. He's been around for 3 years now with us. He would be more useful in the championship for us, for where we want to be consolidated. I'm not buying all these people saying we need to be pushing straight for promotion. If it happens, great. I'm not buying it. And so for what we want to achieve next year, I think Bailey Wright's the ideal man.
15th place would do me next season. I don't know if that's the fewest.
Last night at work, the mag said, was realistically, where do you think next year? And someone said playoffs. I said, seriously, I think top of the bottom teams in that league would be fine for me. I don't want to be going into the last 10 games knowing that we're in the bottom 3. Just consolidate, and I'll be happy with that. And I think Bailey Wright's that steady head that will do it for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm 100% the same. I just stay a decent way clear of relegation and, start to form some sort of establishment in this league. So, over the next 2 or 3 years, we can maybe look to get the recruitment right and then hopefully get promoted. That's kind of what you want. But we have hit 9 o'clock, and our first game of the season is an absolute beauty. Oh, that is lovely, that. As you will all know by this point, it is the wonderful Coventry City at home on Sunday, July 31st. Dave, I'll come to you with this. I think that's a cracker. I'm not going to hide my biasness. I'm not a big fan of Coventry, but that is a nice, juicy fixture to start the season, isn't it?
Yeah, I had a feeling. I know we touched on the Gooch thing. We were talking about guessing when we would play and who we would get up first. I thought we'd get a Sky game, to be honest. I thought we'd be at home to start off with. So it looks like that may come to fruition. I know a lot of people were saying Friday night, but I thought it might be the Sunday. Listen, hopefully the sun's beaten down a little bit. I'm all for that fixture, especially when we absolutely hammer them 5-0.
But it's not 5-4 like last time. The thing is, you get rid of League One and you're instantly reminded of League One with your first game of the season. But on a serious note, I'm really, really pleased with that. Interesting that it's on a Sunday at noon, because that indicates that is going to be a Sky game. Unfortunately for me, it does clash with the Euro 2020 women's final at Wembley, which I have tickets for. I'll have to decide at a later point which game I'm going to. I am edging towards Coventry because that is juicy. Brad, there's no love lost between us and Coventry. So let's be honest, that's a really nice fixture to start with, isn't it? It's a nice one to get our teeth back into, and I fancy us to it sounds crazy this, we've signed no players and we've still got a lot of League One level players, but start the season, 30-odd thousand season ticket holders potentially are sold out or close to sold out, like 40,000, like Sheffield at home in the playoffs. A team that our fans don't have a lot of love for, and they don't have a lot of love for us. It's going to be a good occasion, isn't it?
Yeah. To be honest, when people were asking who do you think or who would you fancy first game, I completely forgot about Coventry. I don't like to think about them, if I'm honest. So yeah, it is a good one. Like Dave said, hopefully it'll be nice sunny weather. Like you just said, packed stadium. It'll be fantastic, and like you said, it will be on Sky. I'm just been looking down later in the fixture list. There's some of the good ones on good days. Can I touch on it? It'll be a good New Year's Day again.
I wish we could get like 8,000 down. For those wondering, I'm sure you've seen this by this point. I don't know why I'm explaining it as if you haven't looked at the fixture list beforehand, but obviously we're reacting as live as we can. New Year's Day, Blackpool away. We did it a few years ago when Josh Madger scored and took about 1 million people down.
And we done it good the year after, and there was a good few there as well. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
their council must be requesting us.
It's quite a nice start of the season, though. I mean, we're going to have a look through those first let's look through the first month. Obviously, technically the first 2 months, because our first game's at the end of July because of the way the season's run. So, Brad, you've got Coventry at home there, but then you've got Bristol City away, QPR at home, Sheffield away, Stoke away, Norwich at home, Rotherham at home. A lot of home games in there. And I think our home form will be really crucial this season. And looking at it, the home games that we've got, maybe Norwich aside, are potentially winnable games because Rotherham came up with us. They've just lost their best two players, or two of their better players. Coventry at home, first game of the season's a decent one to have. QPR didn't hugely pull up any trees last season. They kind of faltered towards the end. Obviously, they're under a new manager and a good manager at that. I think in Michael Beale, I think he will be good. And obviously, we know Norwich are going to be a force next season because they're good in the Championship, rubbish in the Premier League. But ultimately, the first sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, which is like July in the first real month of the season, is relatively kind to us, isn't it, Brad?
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that, actually. I think it's 4 home games in the first month.
1, 2, 4.
And you said Sheffield, mate. We're not in League One no more. It's Sheffield United.
Did I say Sheffield?
Yeah, did I? You can be forgiven for that. Considering the amount we had to speak about them last year.
Still looking for where we're playing Fleetwood here. Can't seem to see them though.
No, Gillingham.
Sad about that. Just for me.
Yeah, but look, the fixtures for the start of the season there is an opportunity for a good start. Some tricky ones, like you said, Sheffield United away, Stoke away, but the home ones, for maybe 8 or 9 points out of them, be quite happy with. Yeah, I'm just trying to read them all. I mean, the very next one after the one you mentioned is the return of the Weir Tees Derby. It's Middlesbrough away, Saturday the 3rd of September, which you can imagine that'll be changed as well.
Yeah, I think so. It's interesting because my birthday is September the 8th. If anyone wants to buy me any presents or anything, like a Borough away ticket, potentially. The games around that period, though, are really interesting and then go immediately boring. So you've got Borough away, you've got Millwall at home, and then you've got Reading away. Like, no offense, Reading fans, but it's a pretty nondescript fixture where no one gets excited about Reading. Ooh, the return of Ovie Ejaria. No one really gets too buzzing about that. But you know what? I'm quite happy with that. Now Norwich at home, Sheffield United away. That's tough. They're both sides that'll be there or thereabouts. But apart from that, I'm quite happy.
That'll test us to see where we're at after a couple of games into the season. New signs have gelled. That'll be a good gauge to take to see where we potentially might go through the rest of the season.
I think one thing we always do at the start of a season, especially fixture release stage, just beforehand, like you look and you think, what games are you most looking forward to? So I will ask you, Dave. We've had the reaction on the opening games. We've looked at it. We've talked the shite that we normally speak about, how many points we might likely get when we have no clue whatsoever because our squad's not ready. But that's the point of a podcast. For me, it was Middlesbrough away. I'll make no secret of it. It's not something I class as a derby. I think a lot of people know I worked with the women's side for a long time, so I've got a lot of friends who are big Middlesbrough fans, and I certainly don't see them as rivals. And I was very much looking forward to that game. They looking forward to it for a very vastly different reason because apparently they don't really like us that much. But for me, Borough was the one that I was really looking out for. And then, of course, Coventry at home was another one I was looking out for the reasons we stipulated before, and the likes of Sheffield United away. So a lot of the games I was looking forward to come pretty early doors. But what are the kind of, if I had to push you, the 5 games that you're most excited for now that the fixtures are out and you can see the dates?
8th of September, great day, by the way. Daughter's birthday as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Twins?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God, I hope not, because that means that I'm your son.
Which is biologically impossible, but yeah, we like it.
I can't imagine they've got visions now of you birthing me for some reason, and that's just not where this podcast is meant to go at all.
Yeah, welcome to a new podcast with ourselves.
One born every minute. Welcome to One Born Every Minute.
Love it. To be honest, there's a few, just because people like starting rivalries with us, so I'm just going to continue rivalries for all of the Wigan fans that will be listening. Can't wait to play Wigan.
We only did it 3 times last year.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We've got a trophy. We got the title. Yeah.
But we got 9 points more than you and we won the league.
We got a day at Wembley. I can't wait till I've got to message Adam here and be like, "Hi, Adam. So the preview show on the 15th of October. Do you fancy coming on, mate?" No, Brad and Dave won't be on. No.
Oh, brilliant!
Love you, Wigan. Love you, Wigan.
Hope you feel better, Charlie. Love you. Bye.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That was sincere, by the way. It's just I sound sarcastic with everything I say. Max Power, good lad. Anyway, back to the real question in hand. Looking forward to West Brom at home. That'll be a good fixture. I can't imagine by the 10th of December that Steve Bruce will still have a job, but you know, it'll be interesting. What else? What else are we looking at?
Boxing Day, Blackburn at home is pretty tasty, actually.
Yeah,
because I don't think, I could be completely wrong here, but I'm pretty certain we've never played Blackburn Rovers at home in a championship fixture. Premier League, tons of times, but I'm pretty certain the season we got relegated, they were actually in League One. You keep talking, and I'm going to check that.
The Danny Good derby.
Who else am I looking forward to? Saturday, the 18th of March, just after Cheltenham Festival Week. Love a little bit of horse racing. Back to Kenilworth Road, through someone's back garden to go and play football. Can't wait for that one. I think that's probably close to 5. But what a damp squid Preston North End away is on the end of the season to win the league. Straight shootout between us and Middlesbrough to win the league. Just put my predictions out there.
I don't mind Preston away. I did Preston last time we were there, and it was the one where McGeady scored and just did that amazing celebration. That is the best kind of celebration you can have, of pretty much just turning around and telling everyone to fuck off. Preston are obviously a big club, if I'm honest. Obviously Alex Neil's former club as well, and historically they're massive, really, Preston. But I don't know, it was a weird away day. That 2-2, George Honeyman scored. That was a horrible season, but hopefully this one will be a slightly better one. But
do you reckon you got 7 out of 10 that day or not?
You always got 7 out of 10, mate. It's not even a question, that. In terms of fixtures, I'm looking forward to here, right? So I've touched on Borough. Definitely looking forward to Borough away. Been to the Riverside a few times. Class days at Borough away, especially when Seth scored in extra time in the FA Cup. That was great. Middlesbrough at home on the 21st of January. So it'll be a cold one. In terms of away games, I've never done them, and I've been told by 2 separate people that they're the best away day outside of like Derby days and Wembleys and stuff in the entire Football League. I don't know why. No one's ever really told me. They've just gone, oh, it's class. And I've had it from numerous different people that aren't connected. But Cardiff and Swansea away apparently are absolutely class days, with Swansea just winning it. So October the 8th, Swansea away, and then we've got to wait all the way until Easter Monday. Cardiff away on an Easter Monday. And potentially, talking about Lynden Gooch before, he might be marking Gareth Bale that day if rumours are be correct, which is terrifying. But I think Borough away is a standout, obviously. I was looking for Swansea and Cardiff away. I think Cardiff away is probably scuppered now on that day. In terms of home games, Boxing Day is decent. I'm quite happy with Boxing Day. You cannot complain with Blackpool away on New Year's Day. You just cannot complain with that. Millwall away, just to get the full football factory crack in there on the 4th of February. We do play QPR away on Valentine's Day night, which I'm not being funny, but if we were going to play a team on Valentine's Day and I had to be like, I have to get out of it, it would be QPR away or Reading away somewhere. I'd be like, I can avoid it. It'll be all right. But you know what? The good thing is I'm looking through these fixtures and I asked the question, which game are you most looking forward to? The best part is I'm actually looking forward to all of them in a really weird way, which is, for the first time in a while, I haven't felt like that because of obvious reasons, which we don't need to really touch on. We've been in League One for ages. I'm looking forward to a lot of them. It's nice to have like a sort of derby back. It's really nice to have a game against Coventry, first game of the season, because that is a bit of a grudge match. I don't care what anyone says. Like, I was old enough to remember 97, obviously not old enough to remember the previous time, but 97 was crap as well. And there is a bit of between us. I don't even know what that means, so I think that's a good game to have. But I'm looking forward to all of them. But if I had to pick two out, yeah, Coventry at home, just to get back there at the Stadium Light and get the crowd packed against a team we want to beat and possibly start on a good footing, and Borough away, because the away game comes first, and it'll be nice to pop back down to Borough. From your side, Brad, what's the games you're most looking forward to then before we close off?
Without sounding boring, it's pretty much the same. From where I am, although I'm County Down, I've got a Teesside postcode. So by our area, it's 30% Sunderland, 30% Newcastle, 30% Borough, with the other 10% taken up by Hartlepool or Glory Sporters. So for me, it's Borough, because it's massive for our area. When there is a derby, I don't care what people say. I know they're North Yorkshire, but they're still close for me anyway. This area goes mad. The pubs are rammed if you can't get a ticket, and the build-ups, just, it's not as good as the derby, but a derby, it's good enough for me. Just having a look through, like you've touched on, New Year away at Blackpool. I'll try and tell the missus I won't be spending my baby's first New Year with her. See what her reaction is to that one. And yeah, there was another one. What's that? I'd like to. I get a strange one. Hull City at home towards the end of the season. I don't mind playing Hull. Be nice to welcome back the 7 out of 10. See how he's getting on these days. But my favourite away day, and I mean, is Blackburn. Because I love going to Clitheroe before the game. Done it for Accrington in the last few years, but I always remember I was 16. We went to Clitheroe before Blackburn. Every time since then we went, and I just love the place. So looking forward to that one. But that's more for the things away from football. It's more for the day out. And yeah, everything else pretty much the same as you, mate. But like you said, every single fixture for me, it's just nice to see like Premier League clubs in there. Really, Premier League by stature, not by technicality. So yeah, it's nice to see these big stadiums where we know we're going to get big allocations, not like 500 at flipping Rochdale. I didn't know. It's nice to know that we're going to be playing in 30,000 stadiums and we're going to get 4,000-5,000 to take down there, fill a stand, and we'll do it with ease every single time. So yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. I was right, by the way. I was checking for the Blackburn game. We haven't played Blackburn in the Championship. It's our first Championship game against Blackburn in the, as you put it, Danny Graham derby. Thankfully, Burton's not here this time as well. But yeah, you know what? It's been really nice to have a kind of unscripted, unplanned, unknown fixture release day. I had someone doing the typical, I've got a bit of information and I'm like, no, I just want to react live to it. Ultimately, I think just to kind of close the show off, I'm happy that Cole's got 51%. I'm happy Lynden Gooch has signed a contract. I would like a few more in the door. Fixtures, delighted it's Coventry at home. It's got enough bite in it. It's at home. It's on Sky. It should be packed. It should be electric. We could get 3 points. And ultimately, I'm excited for the season to come. And it feels that it's closing in here. 5 weeks, I think we are away, so it's great. But yeah, just to sort of wrap up, I'll give Dave this word here and then Brad. But excited, happy?
Yeah, very much so. I'd imagine Blackpool's tourist information board's pretty excited as well, because I'd imagine there's a fair few descending on New Year's Eve.
One or two.
Oh, mate, it probably is best to not check Airbnb. They've suddenly just gone up 750% like the rest of the economy. But different story, horses for courses. Yeah, really excited. I mean, yeah, going to have to plan a few trips, and that's a little bit longer from down here, but 31st of July looks quite tasty. Sunday, make a weekend of it. I reckon there could be a What the Falk reunion that weekend, couldn't there?
Yeah, I quite enjoyed doing those live pods last year. It's really weird because I've got tickets for the women's Euro final at Wembley, which is completely sold out. And obviously, if England get there, I've got a hell of a decision. So if someone want to just change the fixture to the Saturday noon, that would be great. Or if England want to decide to just get beaten in the semis or something, just do something so I don't have to make a decision. That's a horrible nightmare. That I know most people are going, go to the Sunderland game, but we all know I'm a big fan of my women's football. Brad, you were about to say something there. You're excited as well, I take it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you can't make it, I'm sure I can do the intro. Hello and welcome to What the Fuck. Yeah, we managed to. You got it.
No one did it better than Gaz, who did it once. Hello and welcome back to what.
So yeah, just looking forward to the season now, mate. Over the moon. Just nice to see Championship clubs on there.
You can hear the excitement in his voice. It's not as if he's just come off like a shift or anything.
I'm really excited, like, oh God.
It's just weird for a guy.
I know that. Our mates in Coventry, they finished the season in the Northeast. I've just been looking there. It's just popped up, like I said, from where I'm at. A lot of my friends are Borough. They finished the season at Middlesbrough. So
I'm saying now, I've got to get someone on for a preview show. But Dave, Brad, thanks massively for joining. Obviously, it's nice to be back. It feels like it's been a few weeks since we've recorded anything, but I think people needed a rest from us. Yeah, awesome. Let's look forward to it. Let's get back into the season and let's hopefully get a win on the opening day and plenty more throughout the year and another really enjoyable season. That doesn't involve teams like Fleetwood Town. Dave, Brad, thanks very much.